Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're going to work on changing the front brakes of a Saturn S series car. If you have the hubcaps on your tires, you're going to want to go ahead and take those off first. Very easy to do. All you're going to do is loosen up these plastic nuts here and just hold it on and just pull it off. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and loosen up the lug nuts before we even jack the tire up. We're going to use a 19mm wrench in order to do that. You don't have to loosen them up too much, you just want to get them loose so that when you lift the car it's easier to do. Alright, now that I loosened them up, I'm going to go ahead and get the jack and we're going to jack the car up. And now we're just going to finish taking off the lug nuts. Yep, you're good. And what I always do is I make sure when I take off my lug nuts, I put them in the same place. I always use my jack case. That way there I know where they are and it's easy to find them. That's where I'm going to put all the bolts that come off of the car as well. And as another safety precaution, what we're going to do is we're going to take the tire here and we're going to slide it underneath the car. And that way there, if for some reason the car comes down, it doesn't hit all the way down to the ground. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and loosen up the slide pin right there. And that's going to take a 14mm wrench. There we go. And then I'm just going to loosen up the bottom one. By doing that, I'm able to slide open the slide or the caliper. Then I can pull off the old brake pads, pull off the old clips, and I went ahead and bought some new clips so that I can keep them nice and clean and everything will slide better with the new clips in place. You can just pop those on like that. And by doing it this way, it allows me to keep my caliper in place while I do everything, and I don't have to worry about hanging it and getting it all messed up. And grab the new pads. Put the new pads in place. Now I'm just changing out the pads at this time, and the reason for that is because I actually did the rotors last time, and what I normally do is I change my pads, or my rotors, every 2 times that I change my pads. And the rotors actually don't look too bad. They look nice and smooth. So the next thing we got to do is we got to compress the caliper. So I'm going to take an old brake pad, put it in front of the caliper here. And then I'm going to take a special caliper compression tool. I'm just going to put it on there and tighten that down. You can do this with a C-clamp and do the same thing. All we're doing is compressing the pin here. Right there, you can see the caliper getting compressed in. We're going to compress that as far as we can. And then once it's done being compressed, we'll just slide it all back together. Let's take that off. Take the pad out. Clean up in there a little bit. And now you can see right there that the caliper's compressed all the way in. And we should be able to rotate it right back up and into place, just like that. And now we're just going to put the pin back on, but before we do that, I'm going to grab my pin. Before we put the pin back in, I'm actually going to go ahead and clean it off. It got pretty nasty. And this pin is still in good shape, so we're just cleaning it off here. And hold on, before I do that. Now before I put the brake pad on, I'm going to use some of this stuff. It's brake lubricant. And I'm just going to put a little bit here, right there on the glides, on both the top and the bottom. Alright? And then we're just going to slide that on and get it all nice and good. Alright, and I'm just going to use the brake pad to move that around. That's the part that's sliding around. And again, we're just going to slide that back up. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And you can put it right here on the brake pad too, because that's the part that really makes the contact. And then we're just going to slide that back on. We've compressed the slide, so we're just going to, or the caliper, so we're just going to slide that up, making sure it's in place. I'm going to put some grease on our pin. Some nice fresh grease here. And we're just going to slide that right back in. And we're just going to tighten that back down again. I would use my socket for this, but I have a 14-inch or 14mm socket, but I've got a nut stuck in it right now, and I really don't want to deal with getting that all out right now. Could just go get one out of my other kit, but alright, and there we go. We're nice and tight. Just gonna make sure it's nice and tight there. And then we're gonna check the bottom one again. Alright, this boot was broke, so I'm going to go ahead and replace that boot. I could have replaced the other one as well, because I do have the new ones. Okay, as you saw there, the easiest way to put that on is to go ahead and grease up that boot a little bit and then just push it in with a tool. Okay, I used an old broken screwdriver that I have, but you can use the pins to push them through. They're just a little bit tighter if you do. So again, we're going to clean up the pin. Put a little bit of lube on the pins. Run it around a little bit so that it's got nice lubrication. That'll allow it to ride smoothly. Drop down the caliper. Work the pin into place here. Now we're just going to tighten that down again. Using the 14mm wrench. Alright, and that's it. Now we just put the tire back on, lower it, and we're good. Alright guys, so that's it. That's all there is to changing out your front pads on your brakes. If you had to take the rotor off, all you have to do is take the rest of the caliper off and then pop the rotor off and pop the new one on. Alright guys, thank you for watching. If you like what we're doing, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to our channel and click that bell so you get the notifications, and leave us a comment in the comment box below as well. Thank you very much guys. Have a great day.